When you have a brown spot in your lawn, the first thing you should do is get down on your hands and knees, dig in that brown spot, use your senses, use logic, trust your gut, gather data about what might be causing that brown spot before you take any action. This is a story about what happened when I broke rule number 1.
So let me remind you of a video that I did back in August that showed my Palmetto St. Augustine getting ravaged by brown patch or Rhizoctonia fungus.
This is exactly the same looping that you could see in the pictures that Lucas sent me. So that's kind of interesting to me. And it's one of the reasons why I really believe that I do have brown patch here.
That was a correct diagnosis, and in that video, I went ahead and put down fungicides as corrective action. I'll link up in the eye if you haven't seen that video yet, because it's important, because it also shows the growth habit of St. Augustine grass. And this time of year, a lot of you guys are asking me why you have these brown spots. So you need to go watch that video if you haven't. I'll also link it below. So once the disease was gone at the end of the summer, and as is my nature to do so, I started hammering the lawn with fertilizer, starting with higher potash stress relief apps, but also making sure to get some nitrogen in there to help that lawn start growing through its stress and recovering from its scars.
All right, y'all. Hey, well, we are back, and I've been gone for a week in Indiana. So it has been, I want to say 7 or 8, I'll put how many days? 8, maybe 9 days since I did the fertilization on these. So here's the results of the 7020. I went with that low in on purpose here because this had been hit with so much disease, and you're going to see when we get over there, there is still a lot of scarring. Either way, you can see the color here, just beautiful. That 7020 just does such a nice job at low nitrogen. But over here,
now I want to make sure you're following along here. This was all diseased, all the middle of it, all cleared up, all the disease is gone, everything looks great, but these edges, they're still scarred. And so I'm trying to figure out, why are these not recovering? And what I'm thinking is that it's a water issue, because I also did have a broken sprinkler pipe over here, a broken sprinkler head that I had to fix. So I still have not followed rule number 1, which is to dig. I'm trying to play detective without rule number 1, and that is my mistake as we progress here through the summer into the fall.
This is where there is still quite a bit of scarring from the disease. And this is also where I had neglected to water, as I mentioned in the last video. I'll link that. Now the watering is corrected. You can see here, this is a complete mess, but I got the new Toro head in here, so the watering is now corrected, but it doesn't mean the grass comes back to life.
So on October 21st, I hammered the lawn again with another stress app, but you'll notice those edges were still not recovering. And so I decided, a couple weeks after that, to hammer the lawn again, this time with a really high nitrogen app, and really push it over the edge. I also made sure that I was watering all throughout this, because I was really assuming that my lawn just needed lots of fert and lots of water to recover from the disease scarring that I thought was lingering all the way back from the summer.
The thing about it is, those areas that I assumed were drought stress, while they were trying to recover and I could see, some form of life in there, it wasn't coming back like it should. Something else was wrong, but I still didn't pick up on the clues, and I just kept watering and kept hoping for the best. We have had a few days here in the 70s, even I'd wake up in the morning, it'd be in the 60s, and I thought, well, maybe that's what's slowing it down. And so I kind of gave it the benefit of the doubt, figured I would just give it a little bit longer to recover and wait. Finally though, just a couple days ago, I couldn't stand it anymore. I was like, something else is going on here. And that's when I finally realized maybe I should get down in here and dig. Check out what I found.
Hey, what's up y'all? All right, well, quick video today. I'm gonna show you the one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my lawn. But I got these sections over here and over here that have not recovered. Now they're a little stirred up because I've been digging in them, and that's what I want to talk to you about. So I've been stumped. I'm like, why is the grass not recovering here? I don't understand it, because I've got plenty of soil moisture here. I can feel it. Look at this. Look at that beautiful black dirt. I mean, everybody else here has sand. Look at that. I have this beautiful black soil. I mean, you can see it's sticky, plenty wet, but the grass, it just looks peaked. Look at these. I couldn't figure it out. And I thought, man, the disease must have just really damaged this lawn. And that's what I've been going into, that assumption. So I've just been feeding it, trying to get it to come back. And then today I'm like, you know what, idiot? You need to dig. What I always tell people, when you can't figure something out, dig. This is where I was digging earlier, but I'm gonna show you what I did. I just come in here and I just start pulling, and this, look at this. It's just, the grass is just coming out. So you have, look at, that stolon was attached to nothing. Now it's green, because I guess I've been watering it, so, you know, it's living. But that's why it's so peaked, because there's no roots. There's no roots, John Perry. No roots at all. But they're green because I'm watering so much. It's keeping the stolons alive. They're like literally living on top of the ground. What is going on? So that's where the digging comes in. See that? There's the end of the stolon. No roots anywhere. They're just all gone. There should be roots at each one of these nodes, but they're all just gone. Now that's a millipede. That is not what's causing this. So that's not something you got to worry about. Some of you that have been around for a while, you're kind of getting what I'm getting at here, but I've been digging in the areas where there are no roots, and I'm not finding anything but millipedes, which are not a problem. So what I do is I start moving over to here where there's no damage, and I dig, and look at what I find. This is what I'm starting to find when I get into the green. Of course, you guys know what I like to do to these dudes. Huh? They don't live long. Yeah. Huh? Punk. Better throw up all that grass you ate. But what happens is, see, they're not stupid. They eat all the roots in there and they move out into the green areas. So when you're looking and you think it might be grubs, you have to dig in areas that are undamaged, because that's where they'll be. You watch, I'll start finding more and more of them in here now. Oh yeah. Another one. So here I am, dealing with the aftermath of not following rule number 1 when I should have months ago. You know what though? Not only did I break rule number 1 by not digging first, I actually ignored the clues that were there along the way. I actually found grubs in my parkway over there a couple months ago, but I figured I would let them go anyway because I was having the sidewalks replaced over there and I wasn't going to deal with that. So if they killed everything, I didn't really care. But that should have been a clue to me, because that's only 25 yards away from here. Also, if you guys remember the drip irrigation video I did, that's in the backyard, but I actually found a grub in the beds there. And normally, you know, if I find a grub or two in the landscape beds, it's not a concern for me. But the thing is, I should have also realized that those two things together, plus the fact that I didn't do a grub app, should have been a clue to me. And that's where you guys are gonna be like, what, you didn't do a grub app? That's right, I didn't. I made a video on it earlier for you guys, but you know, believe it or not, people think that I am this chemical guy, that I'm just chemical all the time. But actually, I try not to throw down chemicals if I can. And when I say chemicals, I'm talking about ides, pesticides, so herbicides, fungicides, insecticides in this case. If I can help it, I'll try not to throw those down. I follow what's called integrated pest management, which means only apply the ides or the hard control when it's absolutely necessary. And I've never had grubs in this lawn before, so I didn't apply a preventative. I figured, well, Alan, you're smart, you're observant. If you do get grubs, you'll get to them early and you'll just be able to do them, and you'll be able to hit the lawn with a corrective, use a little bit of product, and you'll be fine. But the problem is, I didn't follow the clues, and I didn't follow rule number 1, and so my trying to be good about not applying pesticides, in this case grub preventative, actually ends up biting me. Well, not in the butt, it ends up biting my roots. All right, y'all, here we are back to present day. So let me just first say, happy Thanksgiving. Now, most of what you've been watching here took place, obviously, as I showed you, through August, September, and October, and then some of the digging up and that and finding the grubs, that was early November, right before the hurricane. Some of you that watched my last video, you saw where I was doing sod in that. That was me patching it up. Now in the next video that I do here, what I'm gonna show you is the strategy that I took to correct the problem. So you saw how I led up to the problem here. And by the way, I was finding one grub about every 12 to 14 inches. I don't want you to think that you need to go to these drastic measures if you find 1 or 2 grubs. I found more than a dozen as I was digging, 1 every few inches. So it was enough that obviously I was able to put 2 and 2 together and realize I had this damage that lingered for a long time, and I kept finding quite a few grubs, again, over a dozen all around the brown area. So in the next video though, I'll take you through the corrective actions I took, how I decided between which areas I would sod versus which areas I was gonna try to just help them recover, what product I used to actually kill the grubs, because that's important, and all of the thinking and strategy, and then I'll actually show you how the lawn has recovered. So that'll be in the next video. In a word about the videos, they are gonna be a little bit more sparse this time of year. I try to take a little time off, take a little bit of a break, but I do try to put some videos out during the winter, so I will definitely continue to do that. And back to being Thanksgiving Day, I just wanna say thank you so much, and I'm thankful for you guys who have stuck with me watching my videos all these years, and I hope that they continue to be helpful to you. Hopefully they will continue to encourage you, help you be a better lawn care practitioner overall. But for sure, this holiday season, I am thankful for you all who have really helped me to get to where I am, and who have really helped to support all of our efforts, not only with the Lawn Care Nut, but now going on into Yard Mastery. So much more exciting things to come there as well. So with that, I really hope you guys have, again, a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hope you get to enjoy some relaxation, some downtime. And with that, I'm Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the lawn.
Why don't you stay where the sun